guys. How you guys doing? Alright. Well, let's see what we got here. Alright. Oh boy. You know what I'm saying? We're gonna try a different camera angle. Maybe. No, maybe not. Maybe right here. Alright, so anyways, I have to clean up some messes that I made last night in my video. Yeah, first of all, I need to, well, disclaimers, of course. This video is for entertainment and education purposes only. Any and everything I say could be wrong. Do your own research and come to your own conclusions. Anyway, so, first thing I need to do is make an official apology to Steven Crowder. He really isn't that bad of a guy, No, I'm just kidding. He's a fucking slime ball in my eyes. He's a scum fuck. But that's alright. Whatever. Everybody has their own opinion, I guess. But I did want to make a correction. So I was remembering, okay, like back when I was looking into Steven Crowder and how much he makes, and then I threw out the figure 666 where he makes, and I remembered, no, that is incorrect. So I do need to make a correction. What it was is I looked up Steven Crowder's. Sorry, I looked up Steven Crowder's net worth, like how much he's worth. That year, and then what I did is, using some basic math, I figured out like how much more Steven Crowder makes than I do, based off of his net worth. So I estimated about how much I make a year, and then and then I divided it by how much Steven Crowder makes in a year. And the number that came up is Steven Crowder makes 666 times what I make. And it was like, wow, what a strange coincidence, that I was just trying to figure out how much more Steven Crowder makes in a year than I do. And when I did the math, it came out to 666 times what I make. So Steven Crowder makes 666 times what I made in a year back in 2018. And then in part, and I didn't know that it was that. I just knew it was going to be a big number like that. Because he makes this ridiculous amount of money for what? I mean, all the guy does is spew out garbage, dude. Dude, my videos are arguably as good or better than Steven Crowder's. All this content that I've produced is, could be arguably as good or better. Because, like, in my view, like channels that, like Gypsy Fox. Gypsy Fox's content, whatever you think about it, is way better than Steven Crowder's. Jim Rizzoli's content is way better than Steven Crowder's. Steven Crowder is garbage. It's like the equivalent of watching mainstream media. But yet, despite that, Steven Crowder makes 666 times what I make. When all he does is spew out a bunch of fucking idiotic fucking garbage. Idiocy. And he's a straight up liar, dude. He's lies. I don't watch him anymore. I used to watch him a little bit because he was a bigger thing for a little while. And it was just garbage. Like, this guy is just full of shit, man. you know? I mean, he would put out some decent stuff when he would, shame the liberals or whatever. He had some decent stuff. But, you know, for all the decent content he put out all this scummy. He's just a scumbag, It's kind of like Owen Benjamin is another scumbag, and you got all these scumbags, and but the thing is, you have to do research on them. You have to really watch them, you know. You have to really pay attention to them and watch a good amount of content, And what you find every time with these guys is they're grifters. They're grifting shills, but you have to watch them enough to pick up on it, and so I don't care dude, grifting content is the garbage of the internet. It's the worst of all of it in every way imaginable. Grifting, shilling content is what destroys any semblance of free speech. Like, they are fucking destroying free speech for shekels by spreading a bunch of lies. And they know that they're lying, Owen Benjamin. And, if you are not sure about Owen Benjamin and you're like, well, I think he's kind of a good dude, watch Milker Nation. Milker Nation did an amazing job of exposing Owen Benjamin for the fucking complete fraud that he is. Owen Benjamin these are the people that are your enemy on free speech platforms. They are wolves in sheep's clothing. And Steven Crowder is another one. Richie from Boston is another one. I mean, I know, there's a bunch of them. But the thing is, you have to watch their content for a while to pick up on the pattern recognition. And once you see it, then it's done, I mean, maybe not a while, but you have to watch more than just a video here and a video there. No, you got to kind of watch it, You just watch them. That's what they're there for. I'm the Richie from Boston channel. Everybody come to my channel, Well, go and if and when you do, you're going to see, that these people's content is low IQ garbage for the masses of sheeple. And all they're doing is capitalizing on these masses of NPC sheeple. That's it. Dude, I'm telling you. And, pockets of the future. Some of these guys are pretty slimy, they're really slimy. You gotta watch them and listen to them. The most effective grifter is the one who has truth, who is actually speaking real truth. Because the most slimy, effective grifter will use the truth to, perpetuate the lie. And Crow House is another one, Crow House, people would be like, dude, you got to watch Cliff High. And I won't even watch him because I already know. All these guys, they're all the same. I watched Baffled by Bullshit's most recent video that he put out yesterday about Richie from Boston. And Baffled by Bullshit Baffled by Bullshit spends a lot of time using Richie from Boston as a case study. But Baffled by Bullshit always tries to remind his audience, dude, Richie from Boston, he's just a case study. All these guys, they're all the same. They all pull the same slimy, grifty shit. Yeah. And that's the truth. So anyways, but yeah, I wanted to make that correction. No, what it was is by using some basic math, I calculated that Steven Crowder makes 666 times what I do back in 2018. And I was like, and so I did a video on it. And I asked my audience, do you really think that Steven Crowder works 666 times harder than I do? Like, think about the idea of a person with the ability to work 666 times harder than you. I mean, they would be a living, breathing, real life, incredible Hulk in the flesh. They would have to be like a living, breathing, real life, incredible Hulk, massive. And that doesn't exist in the world. Even though Richie from Boston will tell you it does. Somewhere. You know, the giants, the Nephilim giants walking the earth, hiding in the caves. And they're the size of the Incredible Hulk and stuff. But see, in reality, so how is it, dude, like it's impossible for any human being to work 666 times harder than any other human being. Yet, in this failed, fake and gay, rigged money system, you have people, you'll see them all the time, people that work, or people that get paid 666 times more than you, when you know it's totally impossible to be 666 times better than someone else at virtually anything. And science can easily prove this, that no human being can be 666 times better or effective or whatever than any other human being, unless they're a corpse rotting in a fucking cemetery. So science can easily disprove all this super wealth. Like these people with super wealth, science can prove that none of these people deserve their wealth. Science! But yet, everybody just goes on accepting all this. Dude, there are people that make 1,000 times what you make. Think about the Rothschilds are worth $13 trillion. Can you even imagine what $13 trillion actually is? You know? Like a human being could live comfortably hundreds of lifetimes on just $1 trillion alone. Like if a person could live thousands of years, if a person were able to live like 1,000 years, $1 trillion, that person couldn't spend $1 trillion in 1,000-year lifetime if they spent like $100,000 a day. It's some ridiculous, mathematical equation like that. Like you wouldn't even be able to spend that money even if you lived 2,000 years and spent $100,000 a day. You still wouldn't be able to spend even $1 trillion in a span of 2,000 years. You know, if you just blew $100,000 a day for 2,000 years, you still wouldn't even have gone through $1 trillion. And the Rothschilds are worth 13 trillion. See, this super wealth, these people with this wealth, it's mathematically impossible because, like using Steven Crowder as an example, if Steven Crowder makes 666 times what I make in a year, well then the question is does Steven Crowder work 666 times harder than me or you? And you know that the answer to that question is an inversion. people like me and you have to work harder and more for money than Steven Crowder. And so yet, even though this is the case, you got all these people that'll defend Steven Crowder. But anyways, yeah, that was, I remember now. It took me a little while to remember that. And I was like, oh yeah, that's right. No, Steven Crowder back in 2018 made 666 times what I did. And anybody who makes that much more money than you, don't you have enough brain in your head to ask the question like, well, does this person work 666 times harder than me? And the answer is always the same. Not only do they not work harder than you, you are working way more than that person is. Going back to what O'Keefe was saying, that everything is upside down in your embarrassing society. Like all the people with money, none of them do anything. They don't work at all. And all the people that are fucking barely getting by are fucking slaves. But nobody ever wants to talk about all of these people with big platforms like Styx, X, and Hammer, and you go down the list of all of them. None of them ever talk about this. That's because they all are bought and sold. They are fucking minions for the whatever you want to call it, the Jew laser base, you know, or whatever you want to call it. You know, and it's really gets really frustrating to the point, you know, someone had brought up the dead internet theory in a comment a couple days ago. Yes, the internet is totally dead. It is nothing but 1958 levels of Soviet Union-esque propaganda, and that's all the internet is. That's all it is. You might find a channel here or there like Gypsy Fox that isn't, or Jim Rizzoli that isn't, or Baffled by Bullshit that isn't. But these guys are like needles in a fucking haystack, generally speaking. Most of the time, 99% of the time, you'll never even see these channels because they're all shadow banned. And the shadow banning is based off of money. They amplify all of these Steven Crowders. And they algorithmically promote all of these scumbags, and they algorithmically demote all these channels like Gypsy Fox, Gypsy Fox, Baffled by Bullshit. You know, the majority of these channels like mine are all algorithmically demoted, you know, and the system is all. This internet system is all designed that way. That's just the machine, how the machine works. It is definitely the dead internet. And then it's full of all these bots that are designed to prop up the Steven Crowders as though they're these great channels. That's all. And that's the dead internet theory is not a theory. And if you run a channel like I have, it's all obvious. You see it everywhere all the time in everything. The internet is just another tool of control like mainstream media. You know? It's arguably more effective of a tool of control than mainstream media ever was. Because it's dead. It's not even real. Anyways, yeah, so whatever, dude. Just another bunch more bullshit I'm talking